The fear that nobody wants what I have to offer has been, no, the fear hasn't been doing anything. I have been holding myself back in response to the fear, the illogical fallacy that the world doesn't want what I have to offer. Let's talk about that. I'm going to tell you my story and how I've been shifting energy lately, and you'll get some cool mindset shifts about getting what you want to have, getting, oh my God, the world wanting what you have to offer. You'll get some shifts about that while I tell you my story. And really, we're having a conversation about the fact that sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes you take a break. The journey to your desire takes a while because sometimes you take breaks. Sometimes you give up on yourself. Sometimes you move back into your comfort zone, and it's okay. And the reason that it's okay is because, like we talked about in last week's episode about self acceptance, there's nothing else for it to be other than okay. Because beating yourself up never helps you and it never supports you. So understand that sometimes your self imposed setback, some people might call it self sabotage, but I want to call it your self imposed setback. Sometimes your self imposed setback is a part of the journey, and you don't have to beat yourself up over it, and you get to just continue moving forward. So, I have been in a shitty fucking mood, a shitty fucking mood for the past 3 weeks, 2 weeks. This past week, it has been crazy. Like, my attitude has been ridiculous. And I didn't really understand what was going on. I just felt bad. And I felt like something was wrong and I felt like something was off, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And what I've realized is that there are certain times along my journey as I've continued to grow and expand my business and my mindset and my relationship with myself and all of these things over the past 6 years. My God, I have realized that sometimes right before you're about to have your breakthrough, things get really intense and they get really kind of negative and they get really kind of dim. In the law of assumption community, they call it killing the old man, which is basically like killing off the old version of yourself right before you're going to step into your next level, right before you're going to step into your desired self concept and you're going to be living out the new story and living out the new reality completely. The old story kind of like comes back with a fucking vengeance, right? And it's like all of a sudden, before you have your breakthrough, you have a breakdown. And all of these old fears start coming up, and all of these limiting beliefs start coming up, and all of this shit just starts coming up. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? What is going on? I thought that I dealt with this. This is my nightmare. What's happening? And so it was kind of like that. It was like me not feeling good, me not feeling motivated, me feeling tired, me not wanting to do the work, me not showing up to do the work that I know to do. And it was crazy because I'm like, this is uncharacteristic for me. Like, is that the right use of that word? Is that a real word? I think so. If it's not, pretend that it is. You understand what I mean? It's outside of my normal character. I'm observing myself not doing the things that I know to do. I have amazing programs and workshops and journal prompts and all of these things, and I just was not doing my work. I wasn't journaling. I wasn't telling a new story. I wasn't scripting. I wasn't EFT tapping. I wasn't seeing myself succeed. And I just kept feeling worse and worse and worse. And it probably kept feeling worse because I'm like, I know that I should be doing the work right now, but I'm not doing the work right now. And so I just was feeling worse and worse, just gradually, just feeling worse and worse. And that wasn't fun. So we have that experience. And last night, well, no, I can't just say it was one night because it's been happening over time. Last night was the final push that I feel got me over it. But over time, I have been kind of slowly but surely coming back to doing my mindset work in the way that I know to do it. Now I have to stop talking about theory and I have to start talking about like what this actually actively looks like. I like to do money mindset work at least once a day. When I'm doing my money mindset work every single day, or, more often than not, if I'm doing my money mindset work 5 out of 7 days of the week, energy is flowing, sales are coming in, money is flowing in. I'm getting my desires, I'm being taken care of, I'm reaching my financial goals, and things are growing and expanding. This summer, I sat down and started working with a coach. First, I worked with her on some embodiment coaching, which really changed my life because at the beginning of the year, I started embodiment coaching. I was tapped into meditation and listening to my body's intuitive wisdom. And my body told me, we need to go to the gym. We need to move. You have no idea what I'm capable of. You have no idea what I can do. You don't push me enough. And so I joined a gym and I've been going to the gym ever since. It is now November. I have been going to the gym since I think February or March of this year. So, a majority of the year, more often than not, I've been going to the gym regularly. Now, there have been maybe a week or 2 weeks or maybe like a 3 week sprint where I didn't go to the gym this year. That's okay. More often than not, I've been going to the gym. I've been going regularly. I have my regular classes that I really like. I have the teachers that I like. I listen to good music. I move my body. I'm building muscle. I am losing fat, which is lovely. And I have goals for, the size of my waist that I would like it to be. And I have goals for the size of clothes that I would like to wear. And I'm one off of my desired body type size and different things like that, right? So that's lovely and that's great, but my relationship with my body has changed and the way that I show up for myself has changed, and I've noticed so many positive experiences in terms of or positive consequences in terms of going to the gym and moving my body. My energy just feels lighter when I have moved my body. When I go out and I exercise, I have more energy and I have better, deeper sleep when I'm exercising regularly and different things like that. And so I really love that and I really appreciate that. And I'm in a really good place with my physical body, and I'm in a really good place just with my health and my nutrition and the way that I take care of myself and the way that I show up for myself, and everything is awesome, right? So that's been really good. And I started working with that coach on embodiment. She also works in marketing. And so we started working together on some funnels in my business for my courses and things like that. So we have one meeting and we come up with this framework for how I'm going to be selling all of my courses and what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to set things up, and these are how the email sequences are going to go, and this is how we're going to do this and set this up. And we had that one meeting back in the summertime, and after that one meeting we were supposed to begin actually working on bringing the funnels to life. So we created a draft for the funnels. That was one service that I hired her for. And then the next service was, all right, let's put these funnels together. Let's get into the specifics. Let's focus on it one one offer at a time. And for those of you that don't know what a sales funnel is basically like a, excuse me, I'm so sorry, I just coughed in your ear. Excuse me. A sales funnel is basically like, some people will call it like your client's journey. You basically have an offer or something that people come into through your business, and then you take them on a journey of nurturing them, giving them value, and basically communicating to your dream client in a way that makes it very clear that your offer is for them, and your offer will help them get the results that they are wanting to achieve in their life. So, I'm sorry. I have to keep coughing. My voice is coming back to me. Not because I was smoking. I have not smoked in a couple of days, and I'll be taking a break until the end of the year. But, well, at least the end of the year. But I was singing last night, so, and I just woke up. So my voice is a little bit raspy and all of those fun things. But anyway, okay, where am I in my story? So we've got my sales funnel, which is basically women go into a specific offer or product or training or whatever, and then I am nurturing them through email and different things like that. And ideally, when they get to the end of the funnel, they say, "Oh my God, this was so amazing and wonderful. I am totally clear that this course will help me get the result that I want in my life. I'm signing up, I'm enrolling in this program," right? That's it. So we've got a framework for our funnels, and it's brilliant and lovely. And now we actually need to put the, actually create it and do everything in order to make that happen. And I started really dragging my feet because this year, like I've said a million times across this podcast, my expenses have increased the most that, excuse me, my expenses have increased the most that they've ever increased before in my life, right? So I've been dealing with an increase in business and personal expenses, and I was kind of freaking out and afraid for a bit that I wouldn't be able to pay my bills and I wouldn't be able to take care of myself and all of these things. Even though money shows up, even though money has always shown up, I was really triggered a lot around bills this year. And like I talked about in, I don't know if it was the last episode or a couple episodes ago, a big part of my journey recently has been coming into that feeling of safety and security and practicing it and knowing that I'm safe and knowing that I'm secure and not having to worry and be anxious around bills, because I was in an experience where I was worried and anxious, and then the bills get paid, and then I'm worried and anxious, and then the bills get paid, and then I'm worried and anxious, and then the bills get paid. The bills get paid every single month. So being worried and anxious isn't necessary because you can trust money to show up for you. Also, it's not supporting you mentally and it's not supporting your brain, and also it fucking sucks. And I'm done with the cycle of being anxious and scared and then the bills get paid, because the bills get paid every single motherfucking month without fail. I pay my bills are paid, thank you God. And I understand why I would be having those fears and having those experiences. There were many years when my bills did not get paid, right? There were many years when the money did not show up. There were many years when people did not buy. So I've been practicing really understanding myself and loving myself and practicing self-acceptance and all of those things, and also recognizing, all right, it's time to shift. You are safe and secure. You're okay. And from this place of acknowledging that I'm safe and secure and okay, my other triggers can come up. And this is the Naked and Noisy podcast, so I'm going to be completely honest with you. One of the reasons why I have not been signing up to work with my coach again up until now because we're working together now. But one of the reasons I hadn't been just showing up, I was telling her and I was telling myself that it was because I just have to make sure that these bills get paid. And I'm afraid to take on more financial responsibility because what if these bills that I have don't get paid, and I want to be confident that I can pay her and pay my bills. And I'm just so scared right now. And it's like, in a way, that was true, but also it was a cop out. I was saying, I'm really afraid that I won't be able to do this, but also I was afraid that it would be a waste of my time. I was afraid that my funnels wouldn't work. I was afraid that nobody would buy from me. I was afraid that nobody would enroll in my courses, even though I have students in my programs. I get sales in my courses, and my students love my work, and I get positive feedback for my work. But our unsupportive thoughts, our limiting beliefs do not give a fuck about our physical reality. Our physical reality is not where our limiting beliefs come from. Well, our current physical reality. Oh my God. Give me 2.5 seconds and let me explain what I mean by that. One of my favorite examples for this is the really beautiful girl who's really insecure in herself. We all know that girl who is so beautiful and she is just absolutely drop dead gorgeous, but she hates to take pictures of herself and she hates the way that she looks in pictures, and she just, you could tell her that she's beautiful a million times and she just doesn't believe it. No matter how many times you tell her that she's gorgeous, she doesn't believe it. She is very critical of herself and different things like that. That's the perfect example, because the people in your physical reality can think that you're amazing. I have women in my community who think that my work is amazing. I have women all around the world whose lives have been positively impacted by my work, whose lives have been changed by my work. But somebody else's perception does not determine what thoughts I think. And so I've got this fear that nobody wants me. Nobody wants what I have to offer. And it's what I've been working on over the past several years. And it's the old man who has come back with a vengeance this year. Last year in 2024, that was the first time that I had sold any of my courses for over $1,000. That was huge. And I've gotten more course sales since then. But taking my course sales from getting the sales that I desire, getting sales that pay my bills, getting sales that allow me to put money in savings, getting sales that allow me to invest in myself, going from that place to getting dozens of course sales, getting hundreds of course sales, increasing my income drastically, that brought up a deeper level of fear. So when you are creating something new, when you're allowing in new desires, you're going to have new fears come up, or you're going to have old fears that you've already addressed in one way come up that need to be addressed in an even deeper way. And that's what's been happening for me this year, except I haven't been addressing it. I haven't been addressing it. And a part of me feels, I'll say guilty. Even though there's a little bit of shame there, I feel a little bit ashamed and I feel a little bit guilty that I have not been doing everything that I know to do, even though I do good work, even though I show up for myself, even though I've grown and expanded this year. I really have. I've reached new financial goals. I've reached financial milestones. I have really done amazing things this year and over the past several months. It's been lovely, but it's been kind of like I'm living in my zone of excellence and not living in my zone of genius. And we know that I'm manifesting moving to New York, moving back to the city, and I've been excellent this year. And it's not that I'm like, "Oh, I did good, but it's not good enough." And I'm so hard on myself and I'm never satisfied. It's not that. It's a feeling. I know what I came here to do. I know how I came here to serve. My God, voice box, please. I know how I've come here to serve. I know what I want my business to look like, and I know what I want receiving money to feel like, and I know where I want my money to go, and I know how I want to be financially abundant and free and like affluent and supported for myself and for my community and for future generations and for the women that I serve as a source of inspiration and as a coach and all of these things. So I've been really excellent this year, and I've been avoiding my zone of genius. My zone of genius is teaching. My zone of genius is my courses. I should have way more students inside of my courses than I do. Even though my current students are lovely, even though my current number of students is wonderful, even though my current number of students is an achievement, even though it's progress, even though it's lovely, even though I appreciate them. Oh my God, love you so much. Thank you, Jiva. It should be so much more because I want it to be so much more because I'm called to do so much more because I'm called to serve in such a greater way. And I know this. And I've just been avoiding it. I've been avoiding it and doing all of these different side quests, which I'm not going to say it's a waste of time. I was just sitting with myself yesterday doing a lot of reflecting. I'm recording this on November 1st. Yesterday was October 31st. October was Hoodoo Heritage Month. October was like, you know how when people have children, they say like, we're doing like a mommy and me day. October was an ancestor and nephews month. It was me and my ancestors just connecting and spending time with each other and growing with each other. And it was such a beautiful month for me in terms of my connection with my ancestors. So that was really lovely. And I ended October at the end of October 31st and moving into November 1st, just connecting with my ancestors and reflecting and just really powerfully coming to an end of Hoodoo Heritage Month with a level of pride and clarity and releasing. I released so much energy yesterday. So, my point in mentioning that was that I forgot what my point was. Oh, how frustrating. I hate when that happens. Okay, I'm going to take it from the beginning of what I was talking about. So, okay. I've been in my zone of excellence. I have been afraid. I've been doing things and getting success and, having record numbers of sales and having sales coming in every single day and increasing my income and different things like that. And that's been really lovely. I've been able to shop. I've been able to expand my wardrobe. I've been getting really good results, and it's never a waste of time. That's what I was talking about. I was sitting last night and I was reflecting, and I don't even want to talk about this soulmate situationship whatever thing that I had. And I realized that a part of me didn't want to walk away from this connection that I had with this guy because I felt like it was a waste of my time. Like, I did all of this. I put all of this energy and effort towards this connection, and I don't get what I want in the end. It felt like a waste of time. And I challenged that idea last night where I was like, well, that's not true. I don't think that loving other people is ever a waste of time. I learned so much about myself. That soulmate connection inspired me to change in so many ways that I would not have been inspired to change if he wasn't in my life in whatever capacity that he was in. You know what I mean? So it's like there has been growth, there has been expansion, there was value there. Just because I didn't get what I wanted doesn't mean that I wasted my time. And that applies in business as well. And we've probably talked about this before, where it's like your goal when you're selling, your goal when you're going on interviews, your goal when you're marketing yourself, whether you're looking for that new job or you're looking for that promotion or you're looking for that raise and you're doing all those things, your goal is not just to win. Your goal is not just to get that sale. Your goal is not just to close that client. You are developing incredibly important skills. You are developing incredibly important skills. Every single time that you talk about what you have to offer, you're getting better and better and better at identifying who you are and how you serve and communicating that to other people. You don't want to sell every single day because you have to sell every single day. And if you don't sell every single day, then you're not going to get any sales. You're not going to reach your financial goals and the world's not going to want what you have to offer and they're all going to forget you. That's not the reason that you sell every single day. You don't sell every single day from a place of stress and worry and anxiety. You sell every single day because if you sell once a day, if you're talking about your offer once a day, if you're talking about how your work serves other people once a day, every single day you get a little bit better. You get a little bit better at identifying how your work helps other people. You get a little bit better at communicating the power of your work. You get a little bit better at identifying your skills and communicating and expressing your skills to other people. You want to be an amazing interviewer? What better way to be an amazing interviewer than to practice interviewing? You want to be the woman who is always getting the promotions and the raises at work? What better way than to be the woman who is constantly campaigning for the promotion and the raise at work? Over time, you become more confident in yourself. Over time, you build confidence in your ability to reach your desire. Over time, you build confidence in yourself. If you're showing up every single day, talking about how amazing you are, expressing very clearly why you are the woman for this job, expressing very clearly what skills and talents and gifts you have and why they are valuable and how they are moving your company forward and how they are moving the lives of your ideal customers and clients forward. If you do that every single day, by the end of the month, you're going to be a different woman. By the end of the quarter, you're going to be a different woman. By the end of the year, you're going to be a different woman. Because every single day you're telling the story, I'm valuable. Every single day you're telling the story, my work is good. Every single day you're telling the story, I like what I do and I like how I do it. And I believe that you should too. Every single day you're telling the story that you are a valuable woman who deserves to be valued. You don't stay the same person while every single day telling the story that you're amazing at what you do and you deserve to be hired. You throw your hat in the ring. But when we have a shitty relationship with our goals and our desires, by the way, I have a course to help you develop a good relationship with your goals and reaching them. It's all about your self esteem, which is defined by what you believe you can have. It's called I Can and I Should. And it's the course that's made to help you believe in your ability to achieve your goals and actually, achieve them with confidence and ease. It talks about rewiring your subconscious mind, changing the way that you think, and healing your relationship with failure. It's an amazing program. It is open for enrollment all year long. Click the link in the description box to learn more. So we have experiences. I'm able to talk to you guys about I can and I should because I spent a couple weeks this year talking about I can and I should and building up my conviction around I can and I should. I didn't plan on talking to you guys about I can and I should 30 minutes ago when I hit record for this episode. But as I'm talking about the power of my gifts and my skills, I'm like, oh yeah, I have a training on this that can help them. Me being able to tell you which of my programs can help you create change and transformation in your life, that comes as a consequence of me practicing selling, me practicing communicating to you what I have to offer and how it can serve you. My relationship with sales has changed over the past 6 years. At the beginning of my business, I wasn't really trying to sell anything. I was just doing my pick a card readings and people were loving it. And then I was offering personal readings through Etsy. And then at the end of my readings, I was just saying, oh, hey, by the way, if you want a personal reading, it's there. And then people were buying. And that was great. At the beginning of my business, I created success and I was making 4 figures every single month. And it was an accident. So when I left college and I had to actually deliberately create success in my business, a whole bunch of unsupportive thoughts and limiting beliefs came up and were triggered within me. And that's been my journey over the past 6 years, dealing with those thoughts and dealing with those beliefs. So in the beginning of my business, when I was learning to actively sell things, I was really insecure. And the way that I was selling was like, will you please buy my product because I have to pay my bills? And so if you don't buy my product, then I can't pay my bills. I wasn't saying that, but that's what my energy was. Somebody please buy this thing that I've created. Somebody please pay me money so that I can pay my bills. And I did get clients and I did get sales and I did to help people and, help them get transformations in ways. And that was lovely. But over time, my relationship with selling has changed completely, where I now see marketing as me being able to clearly communicate to my ideal customer and client that my work is for them. First, it was in my business, it was I'm accidentally getting sales. Then it was somebody please, anybody buy something so that I can pay my bills. And then it was me trying to convince people to pay me approaching people assuming they don't want what I have to offer. And then as I'm talking to them, I'm trying to convince them, no, you should buy money. You should pay for this because you know what I mean? It was still insecure. And I thought that selling was convincing. And I thought I'm not good enough at selling because I can't convince people to pay me. And then my relationship with sales transformed once again, where sales stopped being about convincing people. Because I don't think you're ever going to successfully be able to convince someone to buy from you. We've talked about this in like a podcast episode. I think it was titled like 5 mindset shifts for increasing your sales or something like that. So scroll back and listen to every podcast episode I've ever done about increasing your sales and you'll find it, right? So we talked about this in that, but you're not convincing somebody to buy from you because the person who buys is already convinced that they want that thing. They're already convinced that they want that result. You have to make that choice. You have to make that decision. When you're trying to convince someone to buy from you, you're trying to convince them to want the result that you have to offer. And people that need to be convinced to want the result, they don't actually show up. They fall off the wagon. They don't create great, amazing results because they don't want those great, amazing results. And so you don't want to be convincing people to buy from you in your business because you actually want people who are going to get good results. And the people who have been convinced to buy are not going to actually get good results. They need to have a certain internal conviction and desire and calling towards what it is that you want. They have to be determined. They have to have decided that. So in your selling, when you are connecting with the women or the customers or the clients or the companies who are already convinced that they want what you have to offer or they want a specific result, your job is to communicate to them how you can help them get XYZ result. I'm the best person to help you get XYZ different result because I have gone through XYZ different thing. This is what I have overcome. These are the skills that I will teach you inside of this program. These are the gifts, talents, and skills that I have for you. These are the exercises you will receive. These are the benefits of practicing these exercises. That's what you're doing when you're selling. You're giving them a very clear idea of why you're qualified to help them and support them and what results they're going to get when they pay for your help and your support, period, full stop. They are the person who makes the decision. I would like to get XYZ result, and I'd like to get it from you because I like your story and I like how you've changed your own life. I resonate with the way that you teach. I resonate with the way that you speak. I resonate with blah, 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 blah. I'm already convinced I want this result. Now I'm convinced that I want it from you. That's marketing. That's my relationship with marketing. And it's changed over time because I have shown up and I have practiced. I've practiced selling. I've also invested in different courses and teachers and mentors and different things like that. So, of course, I've learned more about selling over the years, and that has helped me to see things differently. But the point is that selling every single day changes you. Showing up and trying every single day changes you. So there's no such thing as I wasted my time because I didn't get what I wanted. If you've come out on the other side stronger, if you've come out on the other side with a greater idea in terms of clarity about what you want, if you've come out on the other side having practiced and developed a new skill, then you did a really good job. And that's all that you can ask of yourself. And that's how you progress. And that's how you reach your goals, right? So, okay, there's that. I was talking about mistakes. Why don't we just go on this whole 2.5 tangent about mistakes and marketing? I was talking about mistakes. I was talking about wasting time. I was talking about that soulmate relationship. Then I was talking about my career. Why was I talking about that, you guys? Oh, okay. I'm accepting myself. This year, I did not focus exactly in the way that I wanted to focus. I did not reach exactly the business goals that I thought that I was going to reach, and that's okay. I forgive myself. I went on a couple detours. I developed some skills which actually helped me to develop some confidence in myself, develop confidence in my ability to pay my bills each month, even when my expenses increase. I developed confidence in my ability to take care of myself and provide for myself. I strengthened my confidence around these things and I'm continuing to do so. These are all important skills that I needed to develop anyway. So I'm not going to beat myself up because I didn't do everything that I wanted to do. I developed some really great skills along the way. So I want to acknowledge that, and I can have a certain level of gratitude for the amount of work that I did. I really did not expect my expenses to increase the way that they did this year at the beginning of the year. You guys know I am catching up on things in my business. I'm catching up when it comes to my taxes, filing my taxes, paying my taxes, and getting on well, I am in good standing with like the government and all that good stuff, but just like, you know, having that shit taken care of and letting my past mistakes in business and finances be in the past. So I'm remedying that. And I thought that 2025 was just going to be a year of growth and expansion and exploding in this way. But really, it's been another year of me feeling more safe and secure. And that's okay. And that's needed. And that's necessary. And when you want to rise up in your money and finances and your business and your career, you have to feel safe to do that. So I like that I have a really strong and stable foundation, and that's fine. It's okay. So I just wanted to acknowledge that. That was kind of a long acknowledgement, but it's fine because I feel like we talked about some really important things and mindset shifts along the way. And yes, we're still going to talk about nobody wants what I have to offer, right? So I realized all of those things lately. I've been understanding those things lately. That's what a lot of my growth and expansion has been around. Except it's been manifesting recently in me feeling like shit. Let me say that sentence again. I have been feeling like shit because my soul has been communicating to me it's time to grow and expand beyond this. It's time to step into your zone of genius. It's time to start your second YouTube channel. It's time to get those funnels finished. It's time to fully believe and expect for your next level of course enrollments and students and success stories. It's basically time to go. When you have been at a level that no longer serves you for too long, you start to feel like shit. And I feel like that's what was happening for me in that previous soulmate connection, which I wasn't realizing it, but I've been doing a lot of grieving of that connection lately. I've been having a lot of just negative experiences and feelings towards men, which is fine because, of course, I would be angry and frustrated and upset after what I experienced. Of course, I would be feeling disappointed. So I've been acknowledging that of like, oh, you're just going through a grieving process. And as a part of that grieving process, I've been oscillating between frustrated and upset and disappointed and sad. And that's okay. So I've been going through that experience on the romantic front, which has been frustrating me because so much of my focus and growth and expansion goes towards my business and my money and my finances. And I like for my romantic life to be a source of enjoyment and happiness and lightheartedness. Even if there are challenges, even if there are things that get triggered that need to be shifted through, I like to predominantly feel good in my romantic experience. It is a source of relief for me, and it just wasn't that. So that started feeling like shit. That just started to crumble and fade away as I continued to focus on seeing myself in my desired relationship. The connection that I was in, it wasn't it. So that had to fall away. And now there's the chaos in my life of grieving that and moving through that and not being upset with myself and not feeling like that was a waste of time. So they're shifting around that. And then they're shifting around my career because I've been coasting in my zone of excellence. We've talked about this. Now it's time to move into my zone of genius. I've been feeling more and more like shit because I was irritated with the ex soulmate guy, and then irritated and frustrated because I'm not living in my zone of genius. I'm not doing everything that I know to do. It's time to get up. It's time to get back to work, right? And there's a certain level of inspiration that typically moves me, but I wasn't feeling tapped into that inspiration. And after last night, I can very clearly see that the reason why I wasn't tapped into my inspiration was because I wasn't identifying my fear. I wasn't being honest about what I was afraid of. I was ignoring it. It's like it was something that was in the back of my mind, but I was just like, nope, like, don't want to look at that, don't want to deal with that. Part of me thinks that nobody wants what I have to offer, and nobody will buy my courses, and nobody will ever enroll, even though I have students, right? And they have enrolled, but I mean, on the scale that I want them to, and I don't expect sales to come in, and I don't expect this launch to be successful. So let's not really focus on courses right now, and let's focus on other things because I don't expect my courses to be successful, and I don't expect to have good launches, and I just don't want to deal with it right now. And that's what it was. And in a practical sense, what it looked like was I don't feel like focusing on courses right now. I don't feel like doing XYZ different thing right now. Let's do this instead. I don't really want to. Let's do this instead. And we've been talking about this, I think, a lot. I don't know, maybe in my Pega card readings or my podcast. I don't remember where, but I've been talking about this somewhere recently. That energy of, I don't really want to. I don't really feel like it. I don't feel like it and I don't want to is very quickly becoming an unacceptable answer for me. And I don't feel like it and I don't want to. It's a cop out every single time. And I'm always teaching my clients, I'm always teaching my students, you need to practice identifying how you feel, identifying it and naming it. I don't feel like it. That's not a feeling. That's not identifying and naming what's going on. Sometimes it's I don't feel like it because I'm tired and I just need to rest and I really just need to take a nap and I really just need to get my eyes off my business for a little bit. I need to have fun. I need to play some good coffee, great coffee. I need to laugh. I need to have a lighthearted time. That's what I need right now for my mental and emotional and spiritual and energetic health. Okay, fine. We don't have to do the work because right now you need to rest. That's fine. So I'm never saying ignore your feelings, force yourself, push through. Excuse me. It's never the hyper masculine thing, right? But it's the identify what's actually really going on thing and take care of it and acknowledge it. And I haven't been doing that. I haven't been acknowledging and identifying what's really going on. And it resulted in me having that experience of, I don't know, something's wrong, but I don't really know. I don't really know what to do. I don't really know what to focus on next. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And that frustrates me. It frustrates me endlessly. I observed myself being in a cycle of frustration where I was frustrated with where things were, unhappy with how things were going, but then not doing anything to change it. And I have a very low tolerance for that in my business with other people. If you're not committed to a solution, we cannot work together because you will irritate the fuck out of me. Nothing personal, nothing against you. You're not a bad person, blah, 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 blah. If you are not committed to seeing the solution, do not ever work with me. I will let you go. I do not give a fuck because it irritates me. I'm not going to repeat myself 1,000,001 different times because you're not ready to see things differently. We all have our own shit to go through. We're all ready in our own time. I'm not going to force you to be ready, but if you're not ready, we will not be compatible to work together. It irritates me. And it doesn't just irritate me with other people, it irritates me within myself. So I've been frustrated and irritated within myself, observing myself being in cycles in my romantic life and in my career where I'm unhappy and I'm frustrated and I'm upset and I'm complaining about what's going wrong and I'm not doing anything to change it. So I've been having that moment of frustration, and one of those one of the contributing factors to that was I wasn't actually identifying what I wanted and what I was afraid of. I've been avoiding my zone of genius out of fear. I haven't been showing up and doing all that I know to do. Fuck. I haven't been showing up and doing all that I know to do because I have been afraid. I've been feeling afraid and I've been choosing not to show up in response to my own fear. And I still deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself. And last night I had a moment where I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm ready. Let's shift. Let's do it. And I sat, me and the ancestors and God and gospel, and I EFT tapped, and I shifted energy, and I talked about my fears, and I prayed for help, and I asked for help to see things differently. And then the beautiful mindset shift came through, and I was like, wait a second, silly goose. Wait a second, silly goose. For the past 6 years, regarding different offers and things like that, I have come up against this fear and this story that nobody wants what I have to offer. I can't sell that at that price because nobody wants what I have to offer. I can't sell my courses because nobody wants what I have to offer. I can't do this because nobody wants what I have to offer. It's come up a million times for a million different things. From tarot readings to courses to one-off offerings and workshops and things like that. This has come up for me. And the mindset shift was a realization, basically. When I started my first YouTube channel in college and I was doing psychic readings, oracle readings, and then it turned into pick a card readings, I didn't know that anybody wanted what I had to offer. My first pick a card readings that I was doing, it was 3 piles. And I would post the video to YouTube and it would get a couple views. And by a couple views, I mean like 3 views. And I was feeling really disappointed that it was only getting 3 views. And one of the first times that I consciously remember receiving a mindset shift, like a download, I thought, okay, there's 3 piles. That means there's 3 messages. I'm going to assume if I get 3 views, I can assume that that was 3 different people who chose 3 different piles, and the people who needed to hear it, the people who needed to hear that message, heard that message. And so for the beginning of my YouTube reading journey, I was doing my pick of cards. And as long as I get 3 views, the 3 people that needed to hear those messages, I'm assuming that they heard it. Now, looking back at that, that was wild. I could have accidentally been those 3 views. Well, I wasn't clicking my videos to watch them at that time, but I don't know. That could have been one person clicking on and clicking off. That could have been one person refreshing the page. It didn't matter. I didn't know who was watching. That could have been somebody that I was friends with that was watching. And they could have watched all 3 piles. One person could have chose multiple piles. It doesn't matter. It didn't matter. Because I got the 3 views and I decided what that meant for me. I decided that if I got 3 views and the 3 people who were meant to hear it heard it, and I did what I needed to do, and I did what God called me to do, and that was going to be what I decided was success. And I still wanted growth and expansion, and I still wanted to be super successful, and I wanted thousands of views, of course, but that was my first goal. So my YouTube channel started blowing up, and I was really excited about the content that I was making, and I was super inspired on new things to talk about and all of these things, right? New topics and things like that. And it was just so lovely. So I'm doing my readings and they start blowing up. At the time, I have this guy that we'll call a soulmate. We refer to him as the incident. We don't talk about him often. He doesn't exist to us, right? But that was the time that the incident was going on in my college campus. So I'm super obsessed with this guy, and I just want to do love readings all the time. So that's what my pick a card readings were on. They were on love. I was feeling inspired by love. I was feeling in love. I was feeling love for everything, right? So that's what I was doing a majority of my readings on at the time. And that's what was blowing up. And so I started to notice there was a difference between there was a difference between the views when I was doing my love pick a card readings versus like career or spirit guide messages. My love pick a card readings were more successful. Now, I can look back at that and say, well, on an energetic level, you just had more belief, you had more expectation that the love readings would go, better, would get more views and different things like that. At the time, I didn't understand the power of my expectation. At the time, I didn't really understand the power of my vibration. This is the beginning of my spiritual journey. So far, my spiritual journey was just me connecting with God and God helping me go to the college of my dreams in the city of my dreams, right? So that was my spirituality. My spirituality was seeing angel numbers, and my spirituality started becoming pulling cards, pulling oracle cards, right? So my spirituality was not at the place where it is today, of course. And I didn't understand those things. So when I left college and felt the pressure of, I have to succeed, otherwise people are going to see I'm a failure. I have to succeed. Nobody believes me, all that. When I was doing different readings and they weren't getting the same views as my love readings, I was taking those results to mean that I wasn't good enough. People don't want what I have to offer. I was mentally putting myself into a corner that says I can only succeed if I do love readings. And it's because I wasn't the leader of my mind. I was looking at my physical reality, and my physical reality was telling me, well, I was interpreting my physical reality, right? To be telling me who I got to be and what I got to have. So my physical reality was telling me that I could only do, $25 personal readings and do pick a card love readings in order to be successful. Who's to say that I could do readings for career or readings for spirit guide messages or raise my personal reading prices and different things like that and be successful? So the point is that I had a mindset shift last night, and I realized, oh my God, there was never a promise. There was never a promise that my first pick a card channel and, psychic channel would blow up. I was given an inspired idea to start doing pick a card readings. And then it turned out that the world wanted and needed to hear what I had to say. And years ago, when I first discovered online courses, I was inspired to be inside of online courses and programs, and I found them to be helpful and supportive. And I was connecting with mindset teachers and different things like that. And I was growing and expanding and experiencing all of these shifts. And then I had an inspired idea to create and record courses. And obviously, you guys know I'm an excellent teacher. So it started out with a kiss. How did it end up like this? That's what plays in my mind. It started out with an idea. It always started out with an idea and a willingness to try and a willingness to take a chance and a willingness to trust the idea that had been put on my heart. I was given the idea to create courses and to teach women and to help women create amazing change in their own lives for a reason. Just like I was given the idea to do pick a card readings, all the way back in 2018 for a reason. I was inspired to do these things for a reason. There were women out there who were waiting to hear my voice, and I didn't know it yet. So it just makes sense to me that there could be women out there who are waiting to learn from me and enroll in my courses, and I just don't know it yet. And that was the mindset shift that for me, I've been working on the story that nobody wants what I have to offer for a very long time. There's a lot of different shifts and a lot of different trainings inside of my courses and stuff like that that will help you with those ideas. Even in the receiver's mindset, right? We have a whole training about the world wanting what you have to offer. So that one mindset shift feels so profound for me because I don't necessarily, I have a whole bunch of other shifts. Let me start my sentence over. That one shift feels super profound for me because I've been building out this new belief system for a while. And so sometimes our old fears and old stories can come back with a vengeance. We don't address it. That little mountain grows into a molehill. But when you actually look at it, it's like, oh, I do know what to do about this. So I asked for help and I asked to see things differently. And what I needed to realize in that moment last night was that all of this has been for a reason. And all of this is happening because I followed my inspired guidance. All of this is happening because I took inspired action. Every single one of my courses is a consequence of inspired action. What if I talked about this? What if I taught on this? I'm having this understanding right now, and I need to record this. I need to write this down, how I'm changing in this way, how I'm shifting in this way. And that energy is powerful. And I know from my own experience that when I listen to my inspired guidance and I create what I feel inspired by God to create, amazing, wonderful, magical things can happen and do happen. And years ago, when I officially started this business, I was in that hyper masculine state where my reality was determining who I could be and what I got to have because I didn't know how to be the leader of my mind. And I let that fear turn into a belief because I repeated it over and over and over again. I can't do it. It's not working. I let that worry and I let that doubt become a belief system because I repeated it over and over and over again. And that's okay because beliefs can be changed. And I have the tools that I need in order to change a belief. And as I looked at that fear and I named that fear and I shifted that fear, I was EFT tapping and shifting energy and praising God and connecting with my ancestors and just doing so much work last night. I felt an energy of clearing. I felt an energy of like the old story being done. Like it feels like a chapter that is closed. I woke up this morning feeling inspired. I reached out to my marketing coach. We're getting things together. I'm working on some stuff because the receiver's mindset has to get a new module added to it, not so that I can get sales, but because I have something really inspired and really good to talk about that I've been working on the past couple of months. And that's just going to be an amazing addition to that program. And so we're going to start working on that funnel now. And my marketing coach has such amazing energy and we can just kind of bounce back and forth off of each other. And I woke up this morning with just like a clear picture in my mind's eye. It's like a vision and I can see it. I can see where I'm going and I feel clear to reach it and to move towards it. And there's an energy of clarity where, not clarity like realization, but there's clearness where I can take action now towards my goals. I can take action now towards my desire. And I feel more positive expectation. I feel more positive expectation. It feels like, okay, now we're cooking with grease. Now the energy is flowing again. Now we're moving in the right direction. So I spent some time in my zone of excellence. I practiced and developed some really awesome, amazing skills in terms of money and consistency and safety and security. I did lovely things this year. From this point forward, in November and December, we are moving into zone of genius land. We are moving into showing up for myself and making my dreams a reality land, and just taking initiative and taking action and reminding myself to identify how I'm feeling, reminding myself to look at my fears, reminding myself to look at my worries, reminding myself to actually acknowledge the unsupportive stories that are coming through. I just had a moment of emotional avoidance for several months, and I wanted to get on here and talk to you guys about it because I think I say all the time that I'm not perfect and nobody's perfect, and we don't have to expect perfection for ourselves. And I don't have regrets about this year. I have gratitude for how I've grown, and also I have a stronger conviction and clarity around where I'm going and what I would now like to focus on. So the story that nobody wants, what I have to offer, was debunked for me because I've already created and done things. I've already seen by my life experience that when I follow my inspired action, I follow my inspired guidance, it works out for me. And maybe you have that experience within yourself where you followed your inspired action, you followed some sort of inspired guidance, whether it was to create a new thing or to apply for a new job or to apply to go to school in a certain place, and you've gotten amazing results from that. You've learned that you could get a job in this industry. You've learned that you could do something like this. You've learned that you could get paid and blah, 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 blah. And maybe you use that as a point of reference for stepping into your next journey. If I did that, then I can do this. If I did that back then I can do this. If I did it before, I can do it again. If I did it before, I can do it again. That's the affirmation. If I did it before, I can do it again. If I built a business from nothing before, I can do it again. If I got myself to a place where I was making consistent money and income in my business before, I can do it again. If I've gotten myself to a place in my life where I was receiving consistent income and I was satisfied with the money I was receiving, I can do it again. If I've gotten myself to a place where I had a good, stable, reliable job and income before, then I can do it again. Okay, so I hope that this helped you, and I hope that this inspired you. Of course, I think it would be lovely to check out the courses that I have available on things like self-worth, that is believing that you're an important, significant woman who matters and belongs, and therefore deserves to get the things that she wants in her life, and expects to get the things that she wants in her life, and does get the things that she wants in her life. That course that helps you develop that skill and create that experience is called the receiver's mindset. And then there's I can and I should, which is about your self-esteem, believing that you can achieve your goals, healing your relationship with failure. Self-esteem is what I believe that I can achieve. It's a course about building out conviction, and I think it's the only course where I'm really breaking down what it means to build out a new belief system and rewire your subconscious mind. And there's some really good stuff about nervous system regulation and how to respond when your fight, flight, fawn, or freeze, fight, flight, fawn, or freeze response gets triggered, and how I move through things like that. So that's a really amazing training that's inside of that program. I have a million programs. You should check them out. And if you want to get started on something and you're new to my world, or just new to getting even more support from me outside of the podcast, then you might want to check out the free resource library. There's over 12 mindset and manifestation tools inside of it that help you gain self-awareness and clarity and build some conviction around getting your goals and receiving your desires. The workbooks inside are amazing. The meditations are amazing. There's EFT tapping that's amazing. Oh my God, there's a really good EFT tapping script in there for money manifestation, seeing wealth and abundance. Oh my goodness, the free resource library is amazing. It's incredibly amazing. You should treat it like a course in a program, and you should go back to it consistently. So that's linked in the show notes or the description. Thank you so much for listening in to today's episode. I love you so much. We are getting an intro at some point. My current goal is before the end of the year. I want us to have our intro, but it's not at the top of my list of priorities. I know that I said that it was before, but now I'm changing and I'm shifting things again, and that's okay. Okay? I love you lots. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in the next episode.